Hi, welcome back to the channel. It's week 19, I believe. I'm sitting in a hotel room. This is Amy from week 20. As I was going through the clips that I took from week 19, which is really just the weekend of that week, I realized that it didn't flow very well, so every so often you will see me, Amy from week 20, explaining all the fun, exciting things that I did over the weekend. So let's get to week 19. So we are currently at a Holiday Inn Express. It is Thursday. Look, all of our stuff. We are here for, this is like cross-country weekend for my stepkids. So tomorrow morning, my stepson is running in the Georgia State Championships for his school. His boys team is running. He also qualified individually, but the boys team qualified. And then we have one girl from our school, so that's really exciting. That's also gonna run. And then as soon as that's done, we are driving over to towards South Carolina for my stepdaughter, who is running at the conference for her freshman year of cross country in college. It's their conference race. Area by 6:50. It was planning on doing 4 miles on that tread, but only did 3. It was hurting my back. So now gotta go get ready to watch my stepson run in state champ. Yep. Running the state championships. It's early. I haven't had coffee yet.
Everybody's watching somebody else.
Go Curtis! Woo! So I've gotten to watch the high school state cross country meet every year for the past 5 years. My stepdaughter Allison, who runs in college, we'll talk about in a minute. She went to state every year, if I'm remembering correctly, and Curtis has gone at least once before his senior year, and then he went this year, this being his senior year. He ended up placing 9th place for the division, or it's 1A Division 2. They ended up, the 1A schools, they divided them into private and public, and he goes to a public school, so that's the Division 2. But he got a 1930, and it's not a super easy course. So we're super proud of him, and I can't wait to see where his running career takes him. I know we have plans for a couple more races coming up for him, and he's very motivated, very dedicated, and he could go far if he continues working as hard as he does. So that's super exciting. So after we were done in Carrollton at the state race, we loaded up and drove across the state of Georgia to Augusta, Georgia, where we stayed overnight for Allison's first college conference. Hi, kitty. First conference race. And I'm so sorry for the cat. So let's get to some of that footage from there. off, I tried to get 6 miles in at the hotel little gym thing, which is a little nicer than the Holiday Inn one that you saw at the very beginning of the video. I only was able to get 3 in, and I figured I would just do my other 3 when we got home later that evening, which I did. So I got a total of 6 in that day. Happy with it. You know, traveling felt very tiring, even though I wasn't the one driving, I wasn't the one doing all these races. But I was proud that I, made the attempt to get these miles in. Allison did awesome, and I cannot remember her time was 22:20. And I heard several of the athletes from the other schools just say it wasn't the easiest of courses. She wasn't super pleased with her time, but I still think it's awesome because it's way faster than me. And she has a region race coming up soon, so that was exciting. So after we watched Allison race, we drove the 4 hours home. I did my other 3 miles, like I said, and got all that done. So it was a pretty good week. The one other thing that happened this week that I was happy with is I did another 4-mile run, negative split, no walk, or no walk breaks. So I'm pleased with that. Very, very happy that, I'm going to make that a regular thing because it does challenge me and works my heart a little bit more than just doing the easy 3 like I'm used to. So our MEB lesson this week is Marathon 18. It is the 2013 New York City Marathon. It's very appropriate because at the time that I'm doing this, which is bleeding in, like I said, week 20, this race was just ran yesterday. This race was an interesting one for him. He actually ended up placing 23rd with a time of 2:23. But his lesson actually has nothing to do with, running well per se. His lesson is you never know who you're going to touch and what you're going to learn about yourself when you're faced with adversity. And he talks about that for the, I believe it was somewhere in the second half of the race to the finish, he ended up running with somebody who ended up being a part of all the things that he's done since then. All of his running foundations and different things that he has planned. This person has become a very good friend of his. And I hear that so much, especially with Ren Disney and all the people that I've interacted with on Instagram and here on YouTube. Just this community is so supportive of each other, which I absolutely love. And it seems like for the most part, any part of the running community is like that. And I just absolutely love that. But he does say in here that I wanted to share, connecting with others helps everyone realize that whether you run a marathon in 2 or 4 or 6 hours, there will be tough days. Where we can learn from one another is in how we handle those tough days. That's what when I read that, it got me to thinking about that's what I pull from when I'm watching these other people that I look up to on YouTube or Instagram posts, and how we're training for similar goals, and we're all at different skill levels, but tough is tough. I was just telling my sister a little bit ago, they called me and were giving me a little debrief of how Wine and Dine went, which, by the way, congrats to everyone who ran Wine and Dine. That it was a hot one, and it was a hot weekend for them, and I told them, I was like, this is a long training plan, and I'm kind of over it. I'm ready to be done with training. I'm ready for January to get here, but we still have, this is only week 19. We still have, 8-9 weeks left. That seems like a really long time. And we still have 2 more long runs on the plan, 23 and then 26. So it feels long. But what I took from his lesson is, we're all in this together, as High School Musical says, and we can pull from each other to get that motivation. I was super excited, and I know if you watch this, you probably watched Gerald too, that Gerald is back and posting race recaps, and he just posted his goofy overview from 2020, and I left him a comment and said, this came at a really good time because I'm kind of overtraining, but this gives me that extra push that this is what I'm gonna get for all my hard work in January. It's this wonderful goofy experience, and get to share it with everybody. So that's the main lesson from this race. Like I always say, if you have never read this book, buy it and read it, because obviously I don't share everything from his stories from each marathon, but this has been such a good book. I'm so glad I decided to do this as I've gone through this marathon training. It's a really good idea. You should do it too. So I hope everyone's doing well. I really don't like these video conclusions to bleed into the next week, so I'm going to try to get better about that. But I hope everyone's training's going well, and be sure to give this video a like and give me a comment. How do you handle tough training days? What do you do to stay in that mental game and not lose the motivation? Because I'm struggling just a tad. Be sure to subscribe. I actually have something kind of fun, if you want to call it fun, or at least different, planned for week 20. Always remember that you are God's masterpiece, and I'll see you next week. You just saw him a second ago. I don't think he's been on any videos yet, but this is Tiger. He's a very large cat.